Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms. Let's see how this April eclipse is going to be treating you. So we're shifting the nodal axis from Taurus, Scorpio, which was in 2022, into Aries and Libra, which would be now in this year, and a little bit in 2024 as well. We're not yet fully out of the Taurus-Scorpio axis. We're still in the transition stage, but it is not going to be like it was last year. We have newer lessons coming up, and how the planets are interacting with one another is as well a little bit different. So this eclipse is occurring on the 20th of April and will be taking place in Aries, which is right opposite your zodiac, and the degree is 29 degrees. So I mentioned that because it's at the very end. It's just about to move in. And as soon as the eclipse happens, the sun and the moon move into the next zodiac, that is Taurus. Okay, so what happens is, in the last decrees, there's a sense of urgency. And it's like, this must be ended. This must close. Or this new chapter has to begin. And before we do that, we need to wrap things up. So there is that sense of urgency. Things that we were not looking at before. It just makes... This eclipse kind of makes it abundantly clear that these are the specific things that need to be let go. And it's like a very kind of a strict parent archetype, if I would personify it. Because it has the whole like, oh, I'm sorry, I was not asking. You know, you're just gonna have to do it because I'm saying this for your betterment. There is nothing in it for me. Because honestly, the universe is just going to go about its day and years and whatever. It's us who is going to be having a certain type of experience, right? So yes, whatever is needed to close out is closing out because there is a new chapter waiting, which is going to be super kind of more not eventful, but like more abundant, more inspiring. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. More inspiring. And because it is in your zodiac as well, there will be the south node in your zodiac and the north node in your partnership house. If we go by your rising sign, this can indicate that there's an increased focus in kind of learning and listening to other people who are mainly one-on-one connections. So it can even be close friendships with whom you connect with one-to-one and enjoy spending time one-to-one as well. They can offer you some important pieces of advice, or they could be going through some important changes in their life and you can be more in the observer seat. That's usually what happens when, you know, the south node transits your sign. You might be in a position to help them. Your advice might be very helpful, but what you are gaining from is not really from yourself, but actually from other people. So you learn from observing their experiences and you expand from that experience yourself, okay? Because honestly, it's very hard to go through every single experience that everyone goes through, right? So it's that's the whole point of relationships and having people around so we can learn from one another. So yes, that's what's happening. Also, this sun and moon is going to be squaring Pluto, which would be at 0 degree of Aquarius, another critical degree, very pivotal point. It has just entered Aquarius. So yes, it is going to play a role here. There can be kind of a power struggle. If there are certain resistances, then, you know, that's where we might feel some sort of hesitation. Perhaps we are not happy with one needing to change in a certain way. Perhaps there is like another plan that comes up and then we have to kind of think of which way would be the most effective way for us personally. Okay, so let's see how exactly all of this is playing out for you. Let me take the bottom cards. All right, so we have Sita coming up first. This is about unconditional love and devotion. It's really nice to get here. We have Tapas. Let me just take a look at the book here. Okay, so this is actually about self-discipline. I was expecting kind of something like self-control. That's what I was thinking of. But yes, either way, there is like a devotion to something. Perhaps a commitment is being made here, a promise is made, and you're very happy about that. Okay, it might be that, you know, you're kind of waiting for this particular turnaround to happen, right? For example, a process has been dragging on for too long. Perhaps you're dealing with the same type of fear or same type of relationships or lack of relationships or relationship issues, or it can be the same type of people that you're connecting with, and internally you might be feeling as though you want to commit to something else. Perhaps you're connecting more with a different type of ideology or a viewpoint, and you're feeling more comfortable in moving in that direction. Even if it's something relatively new, there is a sense of expansion and bliss in that direction. And so this here can indicate that you're making the necessary promises to follow through with the desires that you have, instead of falling back to your comfort zone, because discipline and control and taking charge and all of these things are not necessarily default states that we are born with, but we can cultivate them throughout life. Right, so this Aries is all about that, taking initiative, taking charge, breaking barriers, being the first of something, being bold and courageous and all of that. So again, you can be motivated by other people to pursue something, but it can also be an inner sense of encouragement that comes to you through a conversation that you have with someone else. So even if you don't discuss your problems, something someone else might say just clicks with you, and it just kind of goes from there. There can be a sense of introspection as well that comes in here for you, maybe not right away, but like 3 months down the line from this eclipse date, you might feel a little bit more like spending some time by yourself, contemplating on certain things, kind of decluttering of what you want to be pursuing. Because seriously, our thoughts make our words make our actions and patterns, and therefore reality as well. So we can't just ignore every thought that we have and claim that they don't have powers, and only the ones we want to have power will have power, right? It's just that both of these cards are kind of, you have the universal power already within you, and it is up to you how far you want to channel it in a focused manner. Greater the focus, faster the manifestation, quicker the results, clearer the result as well. Yes, and there will be a lot of support as well throughout your journey, so it's not like you are doing this by yourself. That usually does not happen at all when you have the North and the South Node in your zodiac coming through. There can be moments of quiet, but that would be in like small pockets where you need to be quiet, and those moments of quiet are anything but boring. Okay, you will learn a lot. There's many thoughts that could come up during that time, different topics that just open up, and I'm saying this from experience, by the way. I had a South Node in Scorpio, that's my rising sign. So yes, I did spend quite some time by myself, but those times were extremely important and needed, and I was actually more grateful for those quiet times than the times that I had people. And yes, I also did learn a lot through my conversations with other people, and I also observed that they were going through a lot of heavy things in their time, and I had to kind of step in, give them some advice or some guidance, because otherwise it might get a little bit too chaotic and so on, which is not usually my comfort zone in my personal life, honestly. I just try to be like, okay, well, your life, you do you, that kind. But in this particular scenario, I just thought, okay, I just have to say something because my gut instinct is just telling me. And it turned out that piece of information was actually more important to them than I realized myself. So yes, you could be in that position as well. Okay, let's see our astro cards. Let's see what else we have. We have the 9th house of guidance and contemplation as well. 9th house can be about that expansion feeling too. You might be thinking of going abroad or settling abroad or learning a foreign language, connecting with people outside of your comfort zone, perhaps different diversities too. There is also a sense of looking to the future, kind of observing what your bigger goals are and how aligned are you with those things. But not in the sense that, oh no, I'm not doing anything right now. Instead, in a more optimistic way of like, okay, I want that to happen. So what do I need to do right now that is going to help me get there? Okay, so the mindset is more positive, even if there is a sense of urgency with the eclipse itself. I was trying to think of some other things. Oh yes, you might travel someplace. That is also super inspiring, perhaps with other people, but it has a deeper impact on you than it does on the others. Yeah, something like that. This 9th house is about an awakening, a realization as well. We have the 11th house, which is another house of future goals, aspirations, hopes, and dreams. It connects with friend groups and larger communities that you relate to. So it can, like I said, you might meet someone outside of your comfort zone, but then they have their own friends, and then you happen to meet them, and then more people, and then more ideas, more topics that could come about here. Even if it's not about people, this can be that you're learning a lot of things. 9th house can be higher education. That is very exciting for you. 11th house is then kind of showing you that you are moving in the direction of your aspirations, that you're closer to achieving your goals than you gave it credit. So if you have been, let's say, procrastinating on taking certain action because you think it might be harder than your comfort zone, it so happens that once you start making the move or you start searching for the necessary information, you find that it's not that complex and that you can do it, and you don't have to be worried about certain things. And also your friends can help you out in figuring out certain things. Perhaps they have some important advice as well. Yeah, you can connect with different communities. That's really loud and clear. Also, both of them can have a public persona too. 9, 10, 11 are usually where the midheaven or the shining point, the zenith, is basically sitting, depending on where you were born, and also kind of what time. But either way, they're kind of more public houses of what you show up in the world like, what you kind of show that you believe, what your reality, your philosophies and your beliefs are, what you stand by, and things like that. And accordingly, you attract the like-minded people. So yes, if your mindset changes, then the type of people you attract is also changing. All right, then we have Jupiter, which is always lovely to see. It's about luck, growth, expansion, optimism, and understanding. It's directly associated with the 9th house. Also, Jupiter is in Aries at this time, along with Chiron. So yeah, there's definitely some expansion in terms of your relationship sector. Perhaps there's a lot you're learning from other people already, and the North Node, South Node, the eclipses kind of are just emphasizing that a little bit more, adding an extra bit of oomph to the lessons and so on. You might really be filled with a certain sense of devotion, appreciation, gratitude, and so on when Jupiter comes in here. And like I was saying earlier, you're absolutely supported by people around you. Jupiter indicates a sense of protection that you have from any negative outcomes of certain circumstances that you did not anticipate. Right? When we are going through a learning procedure, it really helps if there is a safety option as well. Not that we have to always lean back on it, but Jupiter is one such influence who's like, no, you gotta try, you gotta do it yourself. But if you fall, if and only if, which you won't, if you fall, I will be there to catch you, and it will not be that bad. So it's kind of that vibe of, if you're taking a daunting step ahead, you don't have to be afraid of a huge setback to the point of destruction. That's not going to happen. Okay? Don't worry. So Jupiter also indicates that higher education, travel abroad, blessings in terms of immigration, visas, passport, things like that, where there is more options that open up to you. Okay, if you are a teacher, this can indicate you're interacting on a more global scale in some way, or you are being recognized a lot more for your skills, for your lessons and guidance. It can also mean that you are attracting very significant teachers into your life. It can even be online lessons, by the way, taking your own courses. For example, you might find the exact course that you've been looking for. You completely vibe with the teacher, the community, and things like that. That could also happen, and you feel that sense of growth and expansion. We have the 3rd house, which talks about classmates, colleagues, short distance travels, also your thought patterns, your mindset in general, the way you think, the way you express yourself, and so on. So yes, you could be traveling quite a bit as a result of this, but it can also be that you're thinking a lot during these travels. You might be collaborating, communicating with different people while you travel, if that's something possible for you. It can be one or the other, or both. Okay? Depending on like what you do and how likely it is to travel in your particular lifestyle. But yes, the thing that I was saying earlier of thoughts become things ultimately because they cultivate a certain sense of reality, the mindset shift or the gearing, I'm feeling more like opening up of the mind. Okay, it's not that you are completely overhauling how you think. If you're optimistic, you're going to stay optimistic, but you're going to be optimistic about different types of things. Okay, you'll be optimistic about the things that you usually find daunting, for example. Okay, so you're using the skills you have, but you're growing that and expanding that in different directions. Awesome. All right, then we have the Three of Cups. Wow, I did keep mentioning friendship. Three of Cups is that card. Okay, so you're very close friends, perhaps two others, but doesn't have to be. It just talks about that small community that you have. You can even talk about siblings. Perhaps you're connecting at home, talking to siblings, nephews, cousins, all of the above, and you're kind of finding a sense of kindredness with them. This can also indicate you're having very comforting and fulfilling conversations. Perhaps there are certain things to celebrate and discuss about, but in a light-hearted, fun manner. That's nice. That's always nice to see. Then we have the King of Swords, which corresponds with that 11th house, also relates with Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, all about the mindset, thought patterns, your reality that you cultivate, your aspirations, and big picture views that you have. This particular deck gives me the vibe of ultra-focused and clever, resourceful, strategic type of qualities that already the King of Swords talks about, but somehow it's just very loud in this particular deck. So yes, it's kind of gearing towards being laser focused towards a goal, an aspiration, and not allowing anything to stand in your way. It's kind of that vibe it's coming through, and you know that you're supported, you know you're lucky, you know you're blessed. So it feels as though you're not having trouble in taking action towards anything you really want to be seeking. Okay, then we have the Three of Wands, Sun in Aries. We have the Four of Wands. Wow, Four of Wands. All right, that's Venus in Aries, Sun and Venus in Aries. Very, very nice. It is Aries time, not surprised to see all of these cards here. And we have Moon in Sagittarius, Nine of Wands, persistence. Okay, so anything that you put in effort and focus, you will achieve. All right. The Three and the Four of Wands are like one of the most positive, successful, optimistic types of cards in the tarot. Along with the Three of Cups, it's like you're not alone in this. You're not in any fight alone. So yeah, you're gonna get there. It might be that you're networking more. You're using your connections right now to kind of learn about newer things and discover new opportunities. You're kind of letting other people help you out instead of you forcing yourself to do certain things and then feeling uncomfortable about that and so on, right? So the Three of Wands, Four of Wands indicates that there is, again, something to celebrate, some positive message, news could come in here, a very fun development to an ongoing circumstance could come in that leaves you very lighthearted and carefree. It also gives you that boost of confidence and courage that you need to throttle yourself, literally like throttle yourself towards your future goals and visions here. Nine of Wands, like I said, anything you work towards, you will succeed in, because your mindset is, it seems like your mindset is very focused and clear. It's also aligned very well. There are no contrasting pieces of information here. And if there are, it will come up very quickly so that it can quickly be resolved. Quick, urgent are kind of the keywords that we go by with this particular eclipse. So if there's a block, it's going to like, okay, here's the block, this is how you deal with it, all right, next, let's begin with the next thing, right? It's just super rapid. So Nine of Wands can also indicate that the resistance is almost over and your persistence will pay off very soon. So as a result of the eclipse as well, you can be getting some rewards here. Moon in Sagittarius can be that you desire to expand beyond your current environment. Okay, so it can be, again, in an emotional sense. Perhaps you need to emotionally connect with your work, or you need to emotionally be involved with the people that you surround yourself with, and strictly professional is not really enchanting for you, things like that. In some way, kind of wanting to broaden your horizons, explore newer options, be a little bit adventurous in kind of the life choices you're making. Perhaps it's been too safe, and that itself feels like a resistance because you're not fully able to express yourself, right? So something like that. There are a couple of options that are coming in for you guys. Yes. All right, let's see your astro dice. Libras, please. How's this eclipse impacting Libras? Yeah, we have South Node in the first house, and we have Cancer as well. Yeah, it can be some emotional purging that you're doing that actually helps you realign and refocus. It can also be that you feel loved and you're reminded of all the love and support you already have, and there can be a sense of relief and overwhelm at the same time, that you're kind of full of appreciation, and you're also thankful for everything. But then, it's like, wow, I can't believe that there is just so much support and I didn't even appreciate it to this extent each and every single time. But of course, realistically speaking, that's not usually possible. We kind of go on with our lives and so on. But yes, this can be a time where you're feeling a little bit more emotional. And like I said, there can be some breakthroughs if there are some emotional situations lingering. You feel like this is a completely new slate now for your heart, for your family life, for your just emotional and spiritual well-being. And I think you are a little bit more, I'm not going to say determined, but you would more fiercely be protective of your emotional state. Not in the sense that you avoid getting close to people, but in the sense that you're clear about what you're looking for, so you can quickly identify what you're not looking for, right? Let's take the relationship example again. And you meet someone that, seemingly is like very charming and very nice, like there's nothing objectionable with them at all. But the charm is not a factor in your relationship, in the relationship and the commitment or whatever type of relationship you want that you're looking for, right? That's not a factor. That's good, very good on the person, well done, but it's not really the factor to look for. And that can only be explained or realized by you and yourself, right? Someone else cannot tell you what to look for. It's very unique to each and every person, and every dynamic that you want to cultivate as well. So different ages might have different requirements and things like that. So being very clear about those things is going to help you quickly discern who you want to get close to and who not. And that same thing applies to opportunities and other like acquaintances, the friendships and conversations you want to have within those friendships, things like that. Yeah. All right, one more, please. One more. There can be a decluttering as well that you're doing in your home space, and you're identifying more like, in a sense, like, does this incite joy in you, or is it just some dead weight in your house and it's just stayed here because it's not torn or broken or ruined? It's like when you move up in a different phase of life, keeping the same old clothes as you used to wear in school or college or something like that, the entire wardrobe would be like, it's as though you never moved on to another phase, right? I don't know if that happens with everyone, but yes, of course, yes, you can keep some like memories keepsakes and stuff, but yeah, I feel like there is a sense of overhaul. Perhaps you're like shifting furniture around or buying a new type of furniture, for example, or just redoing yourself, maybe switching up your appearance in some way, which helps you feel as though you've left the old you behind. It's kind of a totem type of vision that I'm getting. It's just an image I'm getting, it's a feeling I'm getting, so I can't really explain it fully, and it's going to be different for each and every person, so please take it as it resonates. All right, one more please for Libra. There we go. We have Venus and Aries again, and we have the 5th house. So this can be a romantic time for you guys, a little bit more passionate, more driven. You might be trying out some new things, you and your partner, if you have one. If not, there is a very good chance of meeting someone. You're more visible. People are feeling a little bit more attracted to you. You have this automatic charm about you going on here. So yeah, you can also be a little bit more playful and humorous as well. It looks as though you have a good eye for beauty and not detail, but resonance, let's say, like what really fits with you, what not. You're kind of trusting that feeling very well. And I think there is a level of impulsiveness or spontaneity that is coming through with this eclipse. Libra generally is not known to be spontaneous, but Aries is. So this eclipse can kind of be like, hey, you know what, let's just go and make some random plan and do this random thing, try out this thing we've never tried before without even reading about it or learning about it. It can seem foolish at times, but in this case, you're really enjoying it. So trying out different cuisines, even, that's also possible, or exploring an unexplored area, things like that. Anything you really enjoy, actually. It can even be some sports that you get into and you're really enjoying that particular activity. And it could be something new that you've not done before. Or perhaps you're trying a different trick of sorts, you know, different strategy and so on. You're just really enjoying yourself here. There is a renewal of promises and devotion if you already are in a relationship, and including even friendships and the things that are enjoyable to you, like your hobbies and entertainment. There is a renewal of excitement and passion here. So yes, that's what I have for you, Libras. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.